find that grit. You're going to find that determination inside of you that says, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to keep on showing up. And I'm going to come up with a better idea. I'm going to come up with something even more incredible. Because I'm not going to just turn around and not do this anymore. I'm going to come up with something even better. Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of It Takes Grit. We are talking about how not to panic and how to keep calm in any situation. Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh yes, and Alfie, you're looking very good with your new haircut. Absolutely beautiful. Yes, they got groomed the other day, got their new summer cuts. We all need a little bit of a refresher once in a while, which is why it's important to keep coming back to these podcasts and of course, share it with somebody. Have you shared this podcast with anybody yet? All right, if the answer is no, you are holding something inside, all right? It's time to share it, share with other people that want to lift up their life, get a little bit of grit inside them and allow their brain to just think a little bit bigger. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to create your brain a little bit bigger so you're not focusing on all the things that are not happening, that are not so great in your life, right? But how can we think about the bigger things? And how not to panic when something goes wrong. I'm going to share some really interesting stories actually of what's happened the last couple of months. For me personally, so that you know, like, hey, there's some stuff that happens behind the scenes that, you know, I don't always share, but I only want to share things with you once I've got the solution, when I've worked through it, so that I can actually come to you and give you some tangible advice and help, right? Because if I'm going through something and I haven't figured it out yet, you know, I'm not going to be going out there telling everybody, you know, all of my problems and everything that's going wrong. I'm going to figure out how I can fix it first. So, how not to panic and keep calm in any situation. And by the way, raise your hand if you've ever panicked. Everybody has panicked, right? You are not special, you are not normal if you have just don't panic, right? It's completely normal and it's very challenging for us to stay calm in some situations that force us into a little bit of a, oh my goodness, I got tight, you know, tight around the throat, my chest is feeling like wheezy, I'm feeling a little bit like stressed, my shoulders are feeling up. Yes, that's completely normal and everybody goes through it. And it's not to say that things are not going to happen in your life and you are just never going to panic and you're never going to feel stressed and you're going to be able to keep calm when anything happens. Look, when things initially happen to you, you're going to panic, right? It's just our natural instinct. What I'm going to teach you today is how you can take the panic that's going to carry you on for days and days, and how can you turn it into a positive, right? This is what we talk about here. This is why it's called the It Takes Grit podcast. Like, it takes grit to find that positivity. It takes grit to, you know, change our mindset. But I'm going to give you the tools to do it, and it's up to you if you want to. First of all, I do want to give a massive shout out to everybody who did the goals episode last week, when I taught you not just how to set goals, but how to crush them. If you haven't seen that episode, I highly recommend it. I got so many DMs and messages with you guys putting out your goals and how you're tracking them and the apps that I suggested to use. It was so cool. I loved it, and make sure that you stay with it. If you sent it to me, if you haven't sent it to me, you can always tag me on the It Takes Grit podcast, Instagram, and also Rebecca-Louise Fitness podcast, Rebecca-Louise Instagram. Let me see it, right? Because I can give you some feedback. There was a couple of people that sent things in that I was like, hey, this is awesome, but I would add X, Y, and Z. So amazing job to those of you who did it. Incredible job to those of you who actually sent it to me. And if you haven't done it already, go back and listen to that episode, how I set goals and crush them. Because I think so many times people talk about how to set the goals, but no one actually tells you how to freaking nail them, right? And that's what we're going to change. And I give you 3 tools that I do, and there's things that I do not just once a day, not just once a week, not once a month. I do this every single day, and that's how I've been able to achieve the goals that I've set out for myself. So back to this. So it's normal to feel stressed. So let's all just take a breath in. Exhale everything out. Release the shoulders. Release any tension in your jaw, in your neck, in your head. That's it. Let's take one more in together. Maybe close your eyes this time. Inhale and exhale. All right. So we all have things that test us in our lives. there are so many situations. I'm going to share a couple of what I think now are funny situations that have happened to me the last couple of months that nobody really knows about. But we always, when something happens, we naturally go to the worst scenario. That's just what our brain is designed to do. So we automatically think the worst. We think that it's, this is the only way that this is going to happen, and now we have to find another way, but there isn't another way, and oh my goodness, like I can't believe this is happening, this is unbelievable, we need to fix this, Sometimes when you don't need to fix something, you actually just need to look for another alternative, right? And it's like, maybe it's not the answer that we thought it was going to be, but it's actually going to be something else. So first of all, we do naturally, so if you do that as well, you're not special, you're not normal, you're just like everybody else. We think of the worst things. And we go into that, I need to fix this thing right now to get the answer that I want, to kind of like repair it, right? To kind of put a Band-Aid over it, to like get it back to what it was before. And often that's not the time or the way to approach it. So we are meant to have a different outcome, right? I'm sure that you have things that happen in your life. Maybe it's a breakup, or maybe you've signed up for something and you've gone to a workout class and it's not been what you thought it was going to be, and you're panicking, or you're going to a lunch date, or whatever it is. It could be so many things that you're going through, and you think that what's just happened and the outcome, now it's changed. You're like, oh my goodness, well, this is how it was supposed to be. This is how I had it in my mind. So we need to be more, write this down, open-minded. We need to be more open-minded and think a little bit more outside the box, because when something does happen, it makes us panic, right? It actually allows us to have a different outcome. And I'm telling you that most often, 9 times out of 10, that new outcome is way better than the first thing that you even had in your brain. And I bet you're sitting there right now going, yeah, you know what? I did panic about this thing, but actually something else happened and it made it even better. So I want you to think about that, having a different outcome. Also, it can make you more creative, and it can create new ideas. I'm going to explain this in a couple of different scenarios, but take, for example, if your business isn't going that well. If you're like, business isn't going that well, or the grades I'm getting at school aren't really what I want, or maybe the job that I'm in, I'm not getting the results that I want. In those times, it actually makes you step back and look, if you're smart, and say, what do I need to add? What can I create? What new ideas do I have to help me in this situation? So instead of panicking that your business isn't going right, or panicking that you're not getting the grades that you want at school, step back and go, what can I create today that would change that? And you're going to come up with some phenomenal ideas. And when you execute those ideas, oh my goodness, you're going to have a whole new wave of business, a new way to study, a new outlook on your job, because you've come up with an idea, and maybe you've gone to your boss and you've said, you know what, we haven't been seeing the numbers that we wanted to, X, Y, and Z, but guess what? I've come up with this new system. I've come up with this new idea. And I tell you guys, it is in the times where things are going this way, which is down, that I come up with my best ideas. Because instead of panicking and going, oh my goodness, it's just not working, it's not going to work, I'm out. I go, this isn't working, so what can we do that is going to make it work? Because there's always an answer, all right? You can't just sit there and say, well, it just doesn't work for me. Because there's already a proven plan, there's already a proven method, there's already people doing it, what you're doing right now, right? So that means that it's possible. It's just the only person that needs to change is you. We have so much social proof around us that so many things is possible. I mean, you could be not from America, you could be from Austria, have a background as an actor, and be the California state person, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anything is possible. You can be a reality TV star and then become the president. This is amazing, right? So don't put yourself in the box to just say, because it didn't work that time doing that thing, that it doesn't work at all. In times of downwards, or towns of, when you start to panic, you're like, oh my goodness, allow that time and be like excited that it's not working, because it's going to make you come up with a better idea that's actually going to propel your business, your grades, your job to a whole other level that you weren't even at in your peak. I'm telling you, your ideas are going to come when you're on the down, as long as you're open-minded and you're ready to work for it. You're ready to go, okay, what does work and what doesn't work? And you're going to come up with a system that's even better than you had before. All right, so on those, I say it all the time, you can't fail unless you quit. Literally, you just cannot fail unless you quit. So if something is not working, and instead of panicking, all right, original, we were going to panic, right? Then keep calm. How do we keep calm in that situation? We take action. We take a shit ton of action, because you're going to panic more by not doing anything. Panicking doesn't do anything. Panicking for a quick 5 minutes, okay, no problem. Get that out of your system. And then we've got to go into the calm mode. The calm mode is when we are being creative, when we're coming up with the new ideas, when we're coming up with a new strategy, right? Even if it's like the fact that, you ate the wrong food one day. You had a cheat meal and you don't feel great about it. And afterwards you go, you know what? I'm going to do a workout. And you go and do a workout that you don't normally do. And that workout becomes your favorite. Becomes your favorite workout that you've ever done. Now, that might not have happened had you not eaten that bad food and wanted to do something about it. You could have panicked. Right, that's it. I've eaten the wrong food. I'm off my program. It doesn't work. I can't do this. I'm out. That's option number one. And a terrible option, by the way. Option number two, God damn it, I just ate something that wasn't really on my plan. I don't really feel great right now. All right, let me just do a quick search. I'm going to try a new workout. Maybe you've never done HIIT before. Do a HIIT workout. Maybe you've never done yoga before. Do a yoga. You're going to do something new. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, I really love this. You see, there's two different types of people. There's the people that when it gets tough, they quit. And then there's the people that when it gets tough, they stand up and they fight. They fight for it. They don't just lay down and let the universe just take it. They give back to the universe, and the universe gives back to them. So what type of person are you going to be? Are you going to be the person that keeps on showing up even when it gets tough? Because they're the people who are going to win. They're the winners. They're the people that are going to grow. They're the people who are going to make impact. They're the people who are going to change. The people that just say, you know what, it just doesn't work anymore, I'm giving up. They're the people that are going to give up on everything until it comes to a point where enough is enough and they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. But what are you going to be? I'm talking to you right now. Are you going to grow? Are you going to have a new creative idea? Are you going to have, a new vision when things get tough? Because you have to. And look, there's been so many times in my business where, things have happened, even in my body transformation, where I'm like, it's not going right. I need something to change. I need to do something different, right? Because I don't want to carry on like this. So you need to do something different. All right? And I love it because I've had my best ideas when it's been challenging, where I felt like I wanted to panic, where, oh my goodness, I'm not getting the results that I want. Oh my goodness, I'm not getting the business that I want. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting X, Y, and Z. Boom. I start to go into like fight mode, not just surviving mode. I'm going into thriving mode. I want to fight. And I've come up with my best ideas, and I know that you can as well. Because when everything is going lovely and it's just going along, why do you think of a new idea? You don't. When you're not panicking, when you're calm, you don't think of anything new. Because you're like, well, everything's working. Why would I think of anything new? Actually limits our creativity. So boom, when something comes along, that was a terrible boom. Boom, that was better. If you don't do something right, do it again. When something comes along and it makes you panic, I use that adrenaline, that panicness to be like, okay, all right, getting a little bit nervous. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to help me get the results that I want? All right, I'm going to share with you a great story at the end. The challenge, right, is to solve. The challenge that comes along, it's to solve it. We want to find the solution. Again, it goes back to that, what type of person are you? You're going to find that grit. You're going to find that determination inside of you that says, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to keep on showing up. And I'm going to come up with a better idea. I'm going to come up with something even more incredible. Because I'm not going to just turn around and not do this anymore. I'm going to come up with something even better. And those times where you feel like, oh my goodness, this was my plan. This was what was supposed to happen. It was going X, Y, Z. Maybe it's in a relationship. You're like, you know what? We were supposed to do this, and then this was happening. Boom, out of a sudden, we break up. Things happen. But guess what? It's taking you down another path that you're supposed to be on. I am just a believer that the universe has already got your stars and dots already like pointed out for you, and you just have to keep showing up the best version of yourself every day and fight for what you want, stand to your core values, and the universe is going to, as long as you work hard, it's going to repay you for what you're giving. So sometimes we go, oh my goodness, we're panicking. Oh, this is sending me off my course. Oh my goodness, I don't even know. Why is it sending me this way? It is taking you on the route that you need to be on. So embrace it. Come up with better solutions and scenarios to be able to help you flourish. Always thinking about that solution. What's the solution, right? I remember when, we went down the pandemic and I was supposed to be going to Everest. I did panic because I was like, I'm supposed to be climbing Mount Everest. I'm supposed to be going to Everest. And all of a sudden, now I'm not going to Everest? What am I supposed to do? What's the game plan? What am I supposed to do? Oh my goodness, I'm panicking. This is my whole 6 months mapped out. I've done all this training. And I've said this before on a podcast, I had a day where I was just I kind of lost my flow, I lost my purpose, I lost what I was supposed to be doing, and then boom, I was like, goodness, this is my new purpose, this is my new vision, this is what I was supposed to be doing. And we went full in, we were doing lives every day, we were creating a new app. I mean, there's so much stuff that's come from it, from me not climbing Everest. So there's always another outcome, and it's always the outcome that it's supposed to be, as long as you flip and you go, right, that's happened, no problem. Instead of trying to fix that one situation, why don't you look outside the box? And breathe. We did some breathing at the beginning, right? Panic sets in. And it's hard. It's hard to forget to breathe. Honestly, when you're in that situation, it's like, oh shoot, I gotta breathe as well, and then I gotta think about other things that's going on. Allow yourself that time to kind of get it out your system. So a couple of months ago, we moved into this is the story. So we moved in here into this house in November. I sold my apartment to move in here, and Corey rented out both of his places at the beginning of the year. He has 2 houses, and we signed a contract in this place for 8 months, and the landlord wanted us to sign 8 months so that we would then sign another year at the end of July, so July 31st. And right now it's the middle of July, 2020. So we were like, great. And we had in the contract that she wasn't able to increase the rent in July. No problem. So we're going to be here for a year and 8 months. I spent a lot of money on furniture because I came from a 1-bedroom apartment to a 4-bedroom house. So new sofa, new everything, so much stuff, right? You can imagine. A lot of money. Paid for an organizer to come in to, really make the house dialed in. I got a designer. I wanted this place decked out. 2 months ago, we find out from our landlord, who, by the way, we built a relationship with. They'd taken us out for lunch. I'd met their kids. They come over here a week before we heard this, so I think that they were coming in to check out the place. We get this email to say that actually they're going to be moving in at the end of July. And I remember when I got the email, because she was like, oh, they even tried to actually sell the house to us. We were going to do a land lease. And so she was going to sell the house to us, but then all of a sudden now she's moving back in with her family. And they're in Chicago and they want to move, back to Orange County. And so I literally had finished making a fire pit for Corey. I was super impressed. I'd made my fire pit, and I texted him and said, I've got a surprise for you when you come home. 15 minutes before he came home, I got an email from our landlord to say, hey, just to let you know that, your lease will be terminating at the end of July, and, we won't be renewing for the year, or something like that. And I was like, what the holy crap? No, absolutely not. No, I'm going to fight this. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to fight this. And so I'm bawling my eyes because I love this house. And I had moved in here specifically to be here for 1.5 years, although we wouldn't have moved in because I wouldn't have even been here, and we would have been in Everest. I would have even been here literally 70% of the time of the 8 months that we would have moved in. I wouldn't have even been here. And so I'm bawling my eyes out, right? Because it's just a shock. Initially, it's shock, right? It's okay to cry and it's okay to panic because it was a shock. It came out of nowhere. I was and then she come around my house the other week and everything seemed fine. And so Corey arrives and I'm bawling my eyes out and he's like, I thought you had a surprise for me. I'm like, I've made you a fire pit, but the fire pit has got to come to a new house. And so we're going through this whole thing. And originally we wanted to fight it. We were like, you know what, screw that. You said blah, blah, blah. So we started to look at our lease and blah, blah, blah and see if we could fight it. And she's a lawyer. So, our landlord's a lawyer. We're not going to go down that road. And it came to a point where I was like, I don't want to fight this. Let's just find somewhere else to live and we're going to figure it out. And so we found a new place. We're actually moving in the middle of July because the new place, there's even a great story about the new place. We signed our lease, we handed over our money. They were not prepared to wait until the 31st of July, so I actually have to pay double rent for 2 weeks. Our landlord wouldn't let us, after saying that we could actually move out on the 15th of July, our landlord then changed it and said, oh, actually, no, she didn't even change it. She just said, and then I said, hey, we found this new place. We can actually move out on the 1st of July. You can move in early. She's like, oh, no, actually, I've already accounted for July. I said, okay, well, can we move out on the 15th of July like you said in April? She said, oh, no, that was only if you re-signed a contract in April, which was complete bullshit. But whatever. She said, let me get back to you. That was a month ago. She never even replied. How rude is that? I said, you know what? That's the universe saying whatever is happening in your life, you need that and no problem. It's okay. So we had to tell the new people we're going to move in July. Then we find out that the current tenant on the new place doesn't want to move out and they hadn't even signed a contract to say that they were going to move out. So then for 5 days, we didn't actually know where we were going to live. We could have been living in a motorhome. Who knows? It doesn't matter. And I remember we were in Palm Springs when we found out. It was like a 1-day vacation that Corey and I have, needed to have, the two of us. 4:00 in the afternoon, we find out that, hey, by the way, you might actually not be able to move in on the 15th of July because the current tenant who said he wanted to move out has actually not even signed a contract to say he is moving out and he wants to stay until the end of summer. And so we're like, how have you signed 2 contracts on the same place? But you know what? At that time, we just laughed. We were like, you know what? No problem. We didn't even panic. It was like, whatever. This is just a funny story now that we're going through all of this. Long story short, they were able to work out with the current tenant that he is going to move out. And so we get to move in on the 15th of July. So middle of the month, we're going to be moving. And so, yeah, something that we didn't expect, but I'm so excited about our new place. It's even better than this place. And so, it's an upgrade. And so at the time, it was like the worst thing ever because I was like, I've spent all this money. I can't believe this. Like this woman, she's supposed to be our friend. And now she's like, I did feel like we're being screwed over. And now I'm like, thank you. Thank you, lady, because wait till you see my new house. It is rad. And I'm so excited to move into it as well. So I'll give you guys a tour. But, it's things like that happen that I know it's initial reaction, but it's like, okay, we got to think about the bigger picture. It is what it is. Let's just come up with a solution. And then when we did find out that we weren't going to be able to, again, the whole thing with the tenant and the new place, we actually just laughed. And I think that sometimes you have to go along with the flow of life. And look, nothing is ever as bad as it seems. We make things seem so much worse in the moment. It's like the worst thing that can possibly happen. But actually, it's just an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to change. It's an opportunity to have new ideas. It's an opportunity to have something better. I know so many times in, when we've done the app or something and I've had an app person, I'm like, and then they haven't worked out. And it's like, oh my goodness, we were about to have this app out and then we find somebody new. I'm sure you've been in a relationship before when you're like, this is my person, this is it. And then you break up and you're heartbroken. And then all of a sudden you have someone else comes along and you're like, oh my goodness, this person's way better, right? This is the person for me. And then you're probably going to happen again, right? That's just what happens in life. You always find somebody a little bit better than who you were with before because you've grown and you've experienced more and you know exactly what it is that you're looking for. So how not to panic? It's okay, panic for 5 minutes, but don't allow the panic to continue because then you don't have a solution for what's going on. You don't have something that you can solve. You're just in that panic mode. Allow that panic, allow the challenge in your life to allow you to grow to the next level, to increase your creativity, to increase your grit, to increase your growth, and all of these things stem together are going to help you to get where you want to be and you're going to have more of life experiences. So, you know what? I'd love to hear some of the things of, how you've panicked and how you've kept yourself calm. Tag me in anything that you're learning from the It Takes Grit podcast. I love seeing you guys. I always reply as best as I can. So again, if you haven't already left a review for the It Takes Grit podcast, take a look at that. And of course, it is pre-sale, a couple of months, guys. Couple of months we're going to have this. I do have some really exciting news about what we're going to be doing with this as well. Sneak little peek, there's going to be a live, huge event. It's going to be so cool. We're also going to have a special motivation course as well that will be attached to a Facebook group. We also have some one-on-one session things that we're going to do, some breakthrough stuff, and I don't want to give too much away, but just stay tuned on my social media, wherever you're following. Sign up to the email list because the Facebook group is going to be amazing, and it's going to have lives in it. You're going to get a free motivational PDF that's going to come with a whole series of things that we're going to do together, and I'm really excited about it. My team has been working on this for like 9 months, and it's kind of starting to happen, so I just want to plant the seed to let you know that something is coming, and it's definitely something that you want to be part of, and it's going to be something that you're going to be able to invite your friends to for free. And as well, if you haven't already got your copy of this book, it's available. All of the details in the link below. But yes, little few things just to kind of, just dangle the carrot just a little bit. And of course, we have the new app coming out in August too. So all of this book stuff is going to be around the end of August, beginning of September, and then the app stuff will be in August sometime. So we're working super hard over here. I hope that was helpful for you, giving you some pointers of what to do. But just to recap, how not to panic. It's normal to panic straight away. We're always making things seem worse than it is. Look at the bigger picture. Don't put yourself in a box. Maybe it's meant to have a different outcome. You get to be more creative, have more challenges, and allow yourself to be to look for the solution. Breathe, take a deep breath in, and know that you're going to get through this. Just level up, find that grit, and let's keep on going. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I love you as always, and have a great rest of your day. Bye. It's about knowing how you can make your schedule and your time work for you so that everybody wins. Right? If I say to Corey, yes, I have an afternoon.